This episode has been brought to you by me and my business, Lauren Grace Inspirations. I am a channel of the light and work with spirit guides, angels, the higher self, and past over loved ones to provide you with support, clarity, and encouragement. Using oracle cards, mediumship, and clairvoyance, my readings will leave you feeling comforted and empowered. I have various reading options available, ranging from 30-minute readings to 60-minute readings to group sessions. I also work with professionals to help them gain clarity in business and life purpose. To book a reading with me, simply head to laurengraceinspirations.com. And welcome. I'm Lauren Grace. I'm the owner operator of Lauren Grace Inspirations. I'm a business mentor and I'm a medium and a seer. And I would like to welcome you to the show today. It is the 22nd today, which happens to be my favorite number. So I don't really know what that means exactly, but I'm feeling the vibes. So come on in, settle in. Please do share this with your friends as well so we can let the whole world know that we're doing some live readings today. I'm really interested in what's going to come through. I have let Spirit know that I'm open to the mediumship, to past lives, to soul messages and guidance. I feel like there's like quite a lot of energy going around right now. So it'll be really interesting to see what we do get up to today. So I'd love for you to settle in. And we're going to take a heart breath together in just a second. But before we do that, I just again would like to encourage you to please do share this, and I'm sort of setting myself up here as well. Okay. All right, so welcome. I have quite a few things that I wanted to share with you today. A couple of them are some offers that I've got going on. Of course, as you know, you may already know sort of the process here. I always ask that you leave a comment, please. Let me know if you're new. If you would like a reading, let me know. If you just want to say hi, let me know. Hey, girl, I'm just saying hi. That also works absolutely fine. One of the things that I would like to let you know as well is that everything that I do here is really channeled from source energy, and it's delivered to you with the intention of giving you words of encouragement and empowerment. But it's really up to you to remember that you are a sovereign being, that you are independent, that you can make your own decisions. As a seer, I very often see snapshots of what's going to come into the future. Sometimes someone will ask me a question and I'll get like some guidance about that, or I'll channel some messages in relation to it. It's always important to remember that we have free will. So we can change our future at any single moment. You know, if you make a different decision now than you were going to make maybe tomorrow, your whole life is completely different. So it's always about remembering to run everything through your filter, remembering to sit with the feeling of something for a second and go, does this register with me? Does this feel right to me? Because you are the authority on what is truth for you. Okay. And as a medium, I always do my best to bring through messages as clear and concisely as I can, but you do not need to make things fit. Sometimes we have to do a little deep dive in, and sometimes I get messages from people and they go, oh, Lauren, I finally figured out what that actually meant, but we don't need to make things fit. Okay. All right. So that being said, that I've said my little spiel here, what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to join with me for a moment in a heart breath, because I'm feeling a lot of energy coming through right now. And I need to settle myself for a second. So I want to encourage you to just feel your sit bones on your chair, wherever you are, and close your eyes if you're not driving or operating heavy machinery. And if you feel called to, I'd love for you to put your left hand on your heart and your right hand on your left hand. We're going to take 3 cleansing breaths together. So just in through the nose, and out through the mouth, and in through the nose, and out through the mouth, and one more in through the nose, and out through the mouth. I just want to say, Father, Mother, God, creator of all that is, please send your loving light to me and to everyone listening. Please help us to listen to our heart's messages and to learn to quiet the mind so we can be here in the present moment where we are empowered. Please help us to understand what it's like to go with the flow so we can follow your divine guidance, so we can do what we came here to do and listen to our inner purpose and follow the messages from our higher selves and our guides for the highest good of all concerned always. Please bless us. Please bless our families and our friends. Please send love to all those who are suffering. Please send especially love to all those who are suffering right now with the fires, and please send them rain and comfort and support. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay. Now, one thing I wanted to do, and I wanted to see if you'd be up for trying this with me today. And I felt like, so what happens with me as a medium and as a seer, I get downloads all the time from spirit, right? And you probably, if you've seen me work before, I very often will be talking and then I'll go, I've got that, thank you. And it's because I can hear the guidance coming through. So very often when I'm connecting with passed over loved ones or souls, it can often come through and it seems like it sort of comes from the left side. When I'm getting guidance and I'm channeling, it comes to me through the right side. When I'm doing psychic work, it really comes to me sort of like in the front like this. And then the other guidance comes to me, sort of wraps around. So it may sound a little bit confusing, but it's a way that I'm able to sort of discern where the information very often is coming from. Okay, now that being said, today I got a message and I wanted to see whether or not you would be up for trying this with me. And I was thinking about Fred Rogers. And I don't know if you remember Mr. Rogers. I'm Canadian. And so it was a show that we used to grow up with all the time, Mr. Rogers in the Neighborhood. Oh, I think we just lost connection for a second there. Is it a sign? I don't know. Anyway, so I remember I was watching this beautiful speech by him one time, and he was talking about how he wanted people to take a moment to think about the people that supported them, to help them be where they were. And I thought we could do that today together. I thought we could actually just take a moment and all of us, we could just send a private message to somebody who has supported us, encouraged us, had our back, given us, love, given us confidence. And I thought we could just all send a private text right now. Let's just take a second to do it. I'm going to do it too. So what I want you to do is I want you to head to your phone. Again, if this feels in alignment with you or not. And I want you to think of somebody in your life who has supported you, who has encouraged you, who has been there for you. Maybe someone who you're even proud of. And I want you to send them a message now. Okay. And I'm going to do it as well. So I'm going to send a message to my dear friend. And I'm just telling them what I feel about them and that I love them very much. And I would like to encourage you to do the same. Because one of the things that I don't think we do enough of in life is throw people that we love that support. I think sometimes it's not that we take it for granted. We just forget to let them know that their being there counts, or their small compliments, or their just even listening to us and supporting us makes a huge difference in our lives, and how lucky we are to have people that do that for us. So I'd love to know, leave it in the comments. If you sent a message to somebody, you don't have to tell me what you said. Just let me know how that resonates with you. How does that feel to you? Have you done that before? Did you decide, I can't just choose one person? I have to write 5. Are you going to write a group message? I would love to hear from you. And then we will get into readings now, though. So, okay. So let's get into this. Zenaida, you're so welcome, sister. Welcome, 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 everyone. Oh, Mr. Rogers, represent. Yes, I love that. Thank you so much for all the lovely messages. It's so great to hear from everyone. Okay. All right. So let's see what we got here. Okay. I don't really do yes or no questions, by the way, type readings. So yes, this will happen. No, this will happen. I don't do those kind of readings. The kind of readings that I tend to do are more about what kind of life do you want? How can you take steps to help you get there? Guidance from source, guidance from our spirit guides, passed over loved ones to really empower us to find our own inner power to create the life that we desire. Okay. I am a huge advocate about us finding our inner power and our inner light and shining brightly. And that changes every day. But I really encourage everyone that I work with and that I read for to understand and to feel on that level the remembrance of self, the remembrance of that power, the remembrance that they are divine, that they are a soul, that they can manifest an incredible life for themselves. Okay, so that's my rant. All right, y'all. Shakara Lee, let's do it, girl. And also, if I haven't read for you before, please do let me know. I'd like to know whether or not anyone did that, sent a message to anybody. Can you let me know? That would be fantastic. And also, I do want to say as well to the spiritual professionals watching, so you're spiritual because you're here. If you are a business owner, if you work in a business and you need any assistance with time management, I'd love for you to sign up for my free masterclass. I've put it in the comments there. I have also put a link to a little free challenge I'm doing at the moment. This is going to be the last time that I run it for free, by the way, called Mastering Your Mindset. So if you are working on growing in confidence, on finding that inner light and that resilience within yourself, it starts with our mindset. It starts with us understanding and hearing the messages that we're telling ourselves on a regular basis. If we're telling ourselves we're struggling, then we're going to be struggling. And it's about reprogramming that. So I'd love to encourage you to sign up for that Mastering Your Mindset free challenge as well. So everything's in there in the comments. And yes. Okay, here we go. Shakara, can you let me know if you're on, please? Oh, Shakara, awesome. And you said you sent a message, feels so good giving gratitude to our loved ones. I love that. Yes. And you want guidance around career. Okay, cool. That's fun. All right. Let's do this. Okay. I'm actually going to turn off my fan or turn it down just 1 second. Sometimes it just get really hot. I'm always aware of trying to set that up. Okay, Shakara, let's see what we got here. I'm just going to feel into your energy for a minute as well. It's going to look, listen, and feel. I'm going to see if anyone pops up to you in spirit. Just looking and listening and feeling. Feeling really nauseous as well. So it's kind of like something's difficult for me to digest. I'm also being really drawn to the throat space here, which is all about communication. And I'm hearing a lot about words and hearing a lot about writing. Okay. So those are the words that are coming up for me as well. But I'm feeling quite a lot of pressure in the throat and I'm feeling nauseous in the stomach as well. So whether or not there's a bit of, I get that, a little bit of anxiety, maybe around where the career is sort of headed, what's sort of going on, feeling a little bit lost, feeling a little bit confused. Yeah. At crossroad. Yeah. So it's kind of like, where should I go? Should I go this way? Should I go that way? Not really feeling, I get that. They're talking about discernment. It's really important for you to get, I get that. Okay. All right. So they're talking about discernment. So they're talking about understanding and learning how to discern. So when I say discernment, it's about what is truth for me and what is not. So it's about really tapping into the things that feel right for you. It's about really trusting that inner guidance. Okay, I get that. Sometimes what we do when we're getting our intuition is we're not always listening, right? Has it ever happened to you? Let me know, where you maybe think of someone and then they call you, or you think you're going to do something and then you decide not to do it, but it would have been a good experience. It's probably not the best example. Maybe sometimes you think to yourself, oh, I really want to talk about blah, blah, blah. And then someone will bring up that subject. Where I'm going with this is that sometimes what happens to us is we get these little impulses, these ideas that sort of drop into our mind. And we don't always act on them. Sometimes we're just sort of late to the party. I get that, late to the party. So it's sort of like we get these ideas, but then we don't really do anything about it. A little bit of like procrastination sometimes. Okay. And I'd love to know whether or not that resonates with you, because I feel for you, it's about, I get that, trust. trust. It's about trusting yourself. It's about that confidence. It's about growing that confidence, growing that trust muscle. A big part about our ability to be able to move forward is our ability to trust our own decisions. And sometimes what happens is when we're looking outside of ourselves, we're like, hey girl, what do you think? Hey boy, what do you think? Mom, what do you think? Dad, what do you think? You know, I'm going to ask the entire world what they think, and now I'm confused. I don't know what I should do, right? That sometimes can happen. So it's about going within and start to discern, starting to feel into the things that are right for us, the things that feel in alignment with us. Okay. I get that. One of the things that they also want you to think about are your values. What are the things that are important to you? You know, like honesty, like freedom, adventure, wealth, integrity, success, stability. You know, start to think about the things that are important to you. And when you can get clear on a couple of values, and what you can do, I work with my clients on this a lot, but you can actually just Google values, okay? And then you can write down the list of the values that show up for you, and then rank them in order of 1, 2, or 3. And you might have a couple of values with a bunch of 1s, some with a bunch of 2s, some with a bunch of 3s. Well, the ones are going to be your high ticket value. They're going to be the ones that are super important to you. Okay. Like relationships, loyalty, security, things like that. Maybe a high value, maybe a 1 for you. Now, what we do when we understand our values is we start to make decisions that support us. We start to be able to discern. Hey, is this for me or is this not for me? Is this in line with my values? Is this not in line with my values? I also want to talk about childcare for you, working with children. I feel like you're very good at connecting to people. Like people talk to you. They want to share their ideas and their thoughts with you. Have you done counseling? Have you done any coaching? Anything like that? Let me know. But I feel like there's something for you. Okay, so you say here, I've been procrastinating a lot. I bought a planner diary to put down my career goals on a paper, write down how I'm going to achieve these each day. And I spoke to my partner today about values. There you go. Thank you. This is something I will need to think about, my career goals and plans. This is aligning a lot. That's fantastic. One thing I will say for you, I'm going to put a link for it here for you, is I teach time management. And it doesn't always sound like it's super sexy, but let me tell you right now that when I'm just bringing up the link for you, 1 second. When you can understand how to prioritize the things that you want to do in your life to avoid procrastination, to understand that not everything we do is equally important, to look at ways that we can really take, maximize our days and our time, we get our entire life back. It's absolutely amazing. So if you're into it, sign up for my free masterclass. It's there. It's in the comments. I'm in that masterclass. I actually teach you how to set boundaries, how to say no to things, how to quiet the mind, how to overcome overwhelm. And then I also have a paid course, which is called Powerful Productivity. And I'll just put a comment now for you. Productivity, which may also assist you if you're struggling with time management and things like that. But I love that you're thinking about career goals. I love that you're writing down that plan. You know, when we know where we want to go, you kind of do that step back. It's like, okay, I know I want to write a book. Well, what would be the step right before that? All right, I need to have all the chapters, or I need to have an editor. And you kind of work your way all the way back. And then the first step would be, what am I going to write about, for example? Okay. So, and in that productivity course, I teach you a lot about like voice to text and different hacks like that can really assist you in being even more productive. All right, let's pull a couple cards for you though, sister, and let's see what we can get. Okay. So we'll pull a life purpose card. Okay. And maybe we will do that. And then I will do that as well. Okay, very cool. So we got a bunch of different interesting cards for you in terms of purpose. So normally with life purpose, it's probably a little bit difficult for me to like pull 4 cards, and they all have different life purpose meanings. But I want to talk about the general theme here. And I want you to see whether or not anything resonates with you and anything feels like, yeah, you know what, that makes a lot of sense to me. So number 1, we got the artist card. So the artist is talking a lot about that creativity. It's talking a lot about, creating things. I feel like you have a lot of ideas. I feel that you're ambitious. I feel like you have, all these things within you, and it's about creating those avenues in order for you to get your message sort of out. Because sometimes when we're creative artists, especially when we're spiritual as well, we're like tuned in and tapped onto so much information that sometimes it can be a little bit overwhelming and we get a little bit much in here. So having that creative outlet is really going to be important for you to be able to free yourself. And when you free yourself, you actually create a little bit of space for those ideas to enter, right? Now, one of the things that came up as well, which is really interesting, is flowers. Now, when we see this flowers card, I'm actually just going to, you say you're an artist and you're creating things as you speak. Love that. So we've got this flower card here as well. So flowers, you could actually say, maybe you're supposed to work with flowers. Maybe you're supposed to be, a bit of a flowers that, maybe you're supposed to be a florist. I don't think so. For when I see flowers, I think about high vibe, high frequency. I've got flowers right here, which you can't see. But one of the things about flowers, I get that. Thank you. That I'd like you to look into is Bach flower, BACH flower remedies, and also bush flower essences. I'm based in Australia, so I spend a fair amount of an investment on bush flower essences. It's a website here, and actually on my show, the Afterlight podcast, new episode every Thursday, coming up in a couple of weeks, early October, I'm interviewing the owner of that company. And we talk a lot about flower essences and the power of flower essences to heal us on an emotional level. Okay. So I feel like tapping in to the elemental world, the natural world, is going to be really helpful for you as well. I get that. We've also got Archangel Jophiel coming through, and Archangel Jophiel is really about beauty, helping us with beautiful thoughts and helping us to create beautiful things. So if you're wanting to connect with some beautiful archangel named Jophiel, all you have to do is go Jophiel, Jophiel, Jophiel. Sometimes if I'm spiraling or if I'm feeling negative or I'm feeling a little bit maybe low energy, I'll call in Jophiel to just help me feel uplifted, to help me to see the beauty in all things. Now, in the future card, we've got the support card. So this card is a lot about how you have that nurturing presence, which we already talked about, right? We talked about your ability to be able to connect with people. Also, as an artist, you're an emotional and sensitive empath. I want you to be clear of taking care of your energy as well, by the way. If you are not aware of that, in my course, I do teach you how to manage your energy. However, on my podcast for free, I also have lots of episodes about clearing and cleansing your energy, shielding rainbow light energy. There's a whole episode with Kiandra Vadas all about empaths. Just check out the Afterlight podcast. Okay. So what they're talking about is that a big part of your life purpose, I get that, is about giving back to other people and lending support. Okay. So I think it's a lot about creativity. I get that. And looking maybe for creative ways to lend your support to other people. All right. Now, one of the things that we also got as well, remember I was talking to you about kids. I could see you working with kids. We got this teaching as well. And we can see here that there are kids featured in this picture. So it says you inspire young people to learn. So remember I was listening to Evan Carmichael a couple of years ago, and he was working with someone who was wanting to figure out their life purpose. They were like, I don't know what to do. And this is what he said to them, and it's always resonated with me, and I'd like to share it with you now. So he says, think about a time in your life when you overcame adversity, when you overcame a challenge, something difficult, okay? And then think about how did you do that? And then you can teach other people to do the same. I know it sounds simple, but when we think about it, for me, right? I use me as an example because it's easy. I'm a business professional, been on the spiritual journey for over 30 years, been a business professional for over 20 years, right? Worked in a variety of industries. I've produced over 300 events, interviewed over 600 people, worked for radio stations, sales, websites, blah, 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 okay? Now, I'm bringing this up because there was a period of my life where I was running a big, a company, my own company, and I was doing a lot and I got overwhelmed and I burnt myself out. So what did that do? That led me to start to look at, what am I doing with my time? Do I know how to prioritize effectively? Do I understand about delegation and automation at the level that I should? And I created a method called the Get Paid method. And I started to put everything that I'm learning into place. And what that did is it freed me up to have way more time in my life than I ever imagined. And now I've taken that and I've turned it into an amazing course that I was just talking to you about. So for you, I want you to think about, when are some difficult times, or what were difficult times that happened for you in your life? What did you do? Art therapy, creativity? Did you go out in nature? Did you write about it? Did you sing about it? Did you dance? What was it that you did to overcome that? Were there strategies that you put into place, and maybe your own method? Maybe it's like the Shikara Lee method. Welcome to the Shikara Lee method, where I teach, people how to overcome insert pain, right? So yeah. Okay. And then the other thing that I got for you is this card number 42. And this is the third eye blind card. And 42, when I get a 6, so 4 plus 2 is 6. So 6 for me is all about love. It's all about family as well. So maybe it's coming back to your values. And it's all about coming around the corner and seeing things clearly. It's about intuition. Remember, we were talking earlier about trust, right? And what we can see here with this woman is that she's actually not looking ahead of her. She's actually following her guidance and her intuition. It's like when my dog is out and I'll get him to search for treats that I'll hide. He's not using his eyes. He's using his nose. He's trying to sense with his nose instead of using his eyes. So for you, it's a lot about that discernment, feeling into something, and then you'll know you're on your path. And what's really cool is that when we listen to our inner guidance, our emotions are guiding us every step of the way. So I want you to pay attention to feeling lightness, feeling ease, feeling that joy, because that's going to be a sign that you're on the right path. Okay, so I hope that was helpful for you. I'm just seeing if you left me any messages, because I don't read them when I'm channeling because I get confused. You said this aligns a lot about nature. I'm Aboriginal and I've been focusing a lot of connecting with the land and different elements of culture. I work in education with kids, and I do a lot of talks about Aboriginal culture. Amazing. And I got to say, there are so many grants as well for Indigenous women in business. So maybe have a look. Oh, I'm getting like shivers. Maybe have a look and see if there's some support for you to start some new projects or get involved with other organizations that align with your values. There's a lot of support, and people want to hear from you. They want to hear your voice. And I got to tell you, I'm getting absolutely overcome with goosebumps, which for me is always confirmation. So check out those grants, see if there's some things happening in your area. The other thing that you could look at in your area is maybe getting involved in your local chamber. Also, I'm based in Queensland in Australia. I'm not sure where you are, but you can actually go to these websites, and there's different mailing lists that you can register for, and you can actually get emails about different grants and different organizations and groups. I know I'm going to a business thing in October that's subsidized from the government because my friend was on an email list and sent it to me. So there's a lot of support for you out there. And, the world needs what you want to share. So I'm so excited to hear about all that stuff, and keep me posted on your journey. Okay, who's next, y'all? Who is next? If you are new, please let me know. And I want to thank you for being here. Thank you very much for sharing this as well. Okay. Just having a look at the different comments. Sorry, I'm just reading. I know it doesn't make for very good radio when I'm quiet for a second. I just saw someone. So Source always sends me to the people who I'm supposed to read for, which I always find interesting. So it's always also remembering that there's going to be inner guidance for you within any reading. And even if you're not the person in the hot seat necessarily, there's going to be little pieces of wisdom that come through that are going to serve the greater good. Okay. So hello. Welcome. Okay, I think I'm going to go with, sorry, I just saw a name, but All right, let's go with Chantel Marie. Let's see what we get. And Chantel Marie, if you are here, please let me know. And we will see what guidance we get. I'm just feeling into your energy. Lots of stuff going on in the throat. So it's all about communication. It's also what I've been really feeling lately is like feeling, I don't know if you've been oversharing or over speaking. Oh yeah, I get that. Okay. So it's like, so I really need to clear my throat, which always makes me feel like I'm not saying the things that I want to say, but I'm actually hearing in my head indications that would say that maybe I'm speaking too much. I'm not saying you're speaking too much, but I'm saying about maybe paying attention to the things that we're telling ourselves, right? So for example, and let me know if this rings true for you or not, you don't have to agree, is sometimes what we do, again, the throat stuff is really coming up. Hey, okay. So sometimes what we do is maybe we'll mess this up, right? Like let's say I'm writing down and I throw my pen accidentally across the room. Well, I might say out loud, "Oh, Lauren, that was stupid," right? But that's actually not, I wouldn't want to say that to myself. Why would I say that to myself? I just want to be like, "Oh, damn, whoops," and then pick up my pen. Sometimes we'll say things. Oh, I love this example. Thank you. Okay, so I used to work with this person, right? And I remember one time she and I were having a conversation about something, and she's telling me some story. I don't even remember what it was about. And then she said to me, "Oh, I just make the worst decisions." And I said, "Girl, do not say that. Don't say that." And she goes, "No, it's true." And I went, "Oh, okay." Oh, so what we want to do is we want to pay attention to the things that we're telling ourselves on a regular basis, out loud or internally, right? We want to be really aware that when we are putting ourselves down or when we are looking at situations that aren't necessarily in a positive light, and I'm going to comment on that in a second as well, okay? That sometimes what we do is we sort of exasperate the situation or we reinforce the situation. So I want you to have a look and see if it resonates for you. And I want you to notice whether or not, and maybe right now you won't recall it, but notice in future moving forward, how sometimes we may say things and we're like, "Wait a minute, that's not very nice or not very supportive. Is there a way we can shift it around?" Now the throat stuff's really coming through for me here. So I'm feeling like you need to communicate something. Get something kind of like off your chest. You could always journal about it if you want. One of the things that they are talking about is maybe singing a little bit. So I don't know if you are a singer, but I'm feeling like singing or chanting could really help you start to express your voice a little bit more. I feel like you need to, it's a big part about trusting yourself to say the right thing. And sometimes this is just practice, right? It's just confidence. It's just building up to it. So I want you to, I'm just going to see if you've got any comments actually about this, because I don't know if you even know that I'm reading for you. Oh, you're still here. Okay, very good. Thank you. So yeah, so I want you to just start to notice whether or not you sometimes are holding your breath and you're not saying things, or whether or not you're not saying things that are supportive of the life that you want. Okay. So for example, what I try to do is that's the perfect example. Okay. So where I just said what I try to do, cancel that. What I'm improving at every day is to adjust my language if I say something that isn't actually what I want to bring about. Okay. So that's what I will say on that. So see how I corrected myself, and I'll correct myself when I'm having a conversation with someone. I'm sure sometimes it's weird if I go, "Oh, cancel that," right? I mean, I don't always say cancel that depending on who I'm speaking to. But if I notice that I've said something that I don't want to have happen, or I don't want to continue to perpetuate that thought or that belief, then I'll cancel it and I'll say it again like I just did there. Okay. Now, that aside, sometimes we do need to get things off of our chest that are bothering us. So one of the things that I sometimes do is I'll go for a drive. I'll put down the windows in my car and I'll just speak out loud to God, source, creator. I always use words interchangeably. And what I do is I actually just speak about how I'm feeling. I'll be like, "Hey, I'm feeling worried about this right now. I'm feeling stressed about this. I'm concerned about blah, blah, blah. This is what I intend to happen. This is what I actually want." Right. And then I sort of talk freely. And then when I've done that, then I am sort of free from it. And I've allowed myself to be free from it. So I'd like for you to really start to think about, okay, are there things that I'm not saying? Are there things that I'm maybe saying that I want to change the narrative, that I want to maybe look at reprogramming? And if you're into it, in the comments there, I've got a link for a masterclass that I have. Oh, sorry, not the masterclass, the free challenge, which is mastering your mindset. And that's all about helping you to grow in confidence every day. So yeah, you can sign up for that. It's 7 days. It's free. It starts September 1st. You get an email from me every day to really encourage you to look at what you're saying to yourself and uplift yourself. Okay. Okay. So let me pull a couple cards for you and then we'll move forward. Lovely. Aw, girl, I love this reading for you. Okay, fantastic. So what we're seeing in the back, in the back, oh my God, what we're seeing in the past, oh, makes sense. You're welcome. What we're seeing in the past is we're seeing the all aboard card, and this all aboard card is number 7. And we can see here this person is there, and there's like a train, and it's kind of like, okay, here we are. We're right for the ride. Now this is number 7. So 7 is the crown chakra, and I was feeling in a minute ago actually like quite a lot of pressure in your head. So I think like we like carry a lot of thoughts in here, which could be affecting the throat, of course. So when we're connected with the 7th chakra, that's a lot about connecting with our higher purpose. Now, your guides want you to remember that they can't intervene without your help, right? So if you ever need any help, just talk out loud to them. You could just say, hey, can somebody give me some support with this? Can you lead me to maybe a new book or a podcast or some kind of new maybe piece of information that can assist me? I'm really feeling like I need some help, right? So this is about all aboard. So this is about kind of like getting going and signing up for the ride. So I don't know if you've just started a new endeavor or a new project, but this is a lot about getting onto a new journey. So I feel like if you were at a crossroad, you made a decision and now you're kind of on the train, and here you go, all aboard, let's get going. So I love that. Now, what the next card is talking about is talking a lot about goal setting. Okay. This is card number 13. 1 + 3 is a 4. And 4 for me is a lot about foundational. It's about strength. It's about stability, but it's also about being really clear on where we want to go, who we want to be, where we want to go, and how we're going to get there. So it's about understanding that, okay, if this is my 5-year plan or my 1-year plan or my 6-week plan or whatever, these are the steps that I have to take to get there. So this is a lot about goal setting. All right. This is card number 4, and this is also hit your target. So this is about being clear and about where you want to go and how you want to get there. So it's about strategizing. So it's sort of like, you know how sometimes what happens is we go, oh, I'm not really getting what I want. Well, what do you want? Well, I don't know. So it's about getting clear on that. However, because you've just began a new project, you're all aboard this new endeavor, I really feel like you're well on your way to achieving your goal. So I'd love to know whether or not you just made a big decision about something, you've just joined something, you've just started something new. This is a lot about continuing on your path, okay? Following and listening to your inner guidance. This is totally separate almost from what we were talking about earlier, which I feel is like another thing. This is really, I feel like maybe career sort of focused, but this is a lot about having that goal and then putting that plan and then hitting your target and being aware that sometimes distractions come out of nowhere and you just need to go, wait a minute, is this in alignment with me? No. Is this thing that I'm saying, is it taking me where I want to go? No. Okay, I got to correct. Got to adjust. Be kind to yourself though, right? Now in the future card, we have an amazing card. By the way, I want this card. This is the Midas Touch card. This is basically number 11, and 11 is a master number, which is all about new beginnings, but it's sort of like new beginnings on steroids, I always say. So it's like a lot of emphasis about it. Because we also have ones, there's a really big nod here to leadership, and it's the Midas Touch. So this is really all about everything that you're doing is turning to gold. So I really think that this is a lot about you being totally in alignment with you getting on this new path and starting this new endeavor, that crown chakra, that number 7. I really feel like you're really in sync right now with something that's in line with your purpose. Okay. So just continuing to follow those emotions. When we feel good about something, that's when we're on the right step, on the right path. When we feel a little bit of anxiety, a little bit of nerves, sometimes we have to just sit and wait and go, okay, is there a miracle on the other side of this fear? Or is this fear telling me that I need to maybe pivot, get more information, or take a different detour, right? So I also want you to be aware of when you're making a decision moving forward and you already know you're right on your right path. It's about like, okay, does this feel good to me? And if not, just wait until you actually feel good about it. Because until we feel good about a decision, it means that more information has to come through. We need to take a minute to have maybe a bit of a breather, get more information, or it's just not for us. When we look at the overarching card as well, this card is about giving things a go. So I really feel like this is really in sync with you starting this new project, giving this new thing a go. This is card number 27. 2 plus 7 is a 9. 9 is end a cycle. It's like things sort of wrapping up before we kind of get to the next stage. So I'd love for you to comment, let me know whether or not this is resonating with you as well. When we're looking at this as well, we can see this woman's eyes here. There's a little bit of a playfulness, right? There's a little bit of like kind of finding a little bit of fun in things. I feel like maybe you're saying yes to things. You're going, you know what? I'm going to try something new. When we say yes to things, what that allows the universe to do is to plant people, situations, ideas in front of us. And what that allows us to do is to say yes to things. So it's kind of like, okay, let's pretend that there's a book that the universe really wants you to read, right? And all of a sudden your friend invites you to go for a coffee. And because you're saying yes and you're giving things a whirl and you're trying new things, you go, you know what? I don't really feel like it, but I'm going to go. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to go. Let's do it. So you go to a coffee shop and you meet your friend and there aren't any tables free except for this one table. And you walk over and you sit down and then you notice that there's a book sitting there on the table. And this book is, you don't know who it belongs to. It's got nothing written in it. You maybe take it up to the counter and go, does this belong to anyone? They go, we don't know who that's for, where that came from. And then you end up taking that book home. You learn something from it. You change your complete life, right? That sometimes can happen by us just saying, all right, I'm going to go with the flow. And then the universe can use those opportunities to set us up for success. Now, on the bottom, this is like the anchor card that's really supporting your whole sort of reading here for you today. This is Baby, I'm a Star. Ooh, don't you just love that? Baby, I'm a Star. And this is card number 9 again. So again, it's that end of cycle. This is such a cool card. Look at that, Baby, I'm a Star. This is really a lot about you allowing yourself to shine so brightly. I want you to look at doing some singing or some chanting, clear some stuff in here, okay? You can even do a little bit of tapping. You can even just hold on to your throat and just give yourself a little bit of support. Okay, and Baby, I'm a Star is really a lot about just knowing that you have a right to be here, that you have a right to shine brightly, and the world wants to hear what you have to give. So yeah, like what a cool reading. Love to know if that resonates with you. And yeah, thanks for letting me read for you today, Chantel. Okay, so if you have, hello everyone, welcome. If you heard me do readings before, I'd love to do a 1, 2, 3 card reading for you as well. So what I'd like for you to do is to choose card number 1, card number 2, card number 3, and I'm going to change decks. Actually, I'm going to choose a different deck here. I'm going to use a real powerful deck. And this is the Dreamtime Reading Cards deck. I love this one. This is like a supercharged deck. This is by Laura Bowen. And wow, I haven't used it a lot, I will admit, because I just feel like I need to save it sometimes for when it's the right moment. But Source is saying, girl, let's bust it out and use it now. Okay. So let me know if you're card number 1, number 2, number 3. I want you to think of a situation or a question that you may have. Okay. And then I'm going to give you the 1, 2, 3 card reading. And one of the things that I like about this is I like the fact that, you know, everyone gets a reading. I also want to remind you to really run things through your own filter, make sure that things make sense to you, but also listen out for that one little keyword or that one little message that really pertains to your situation, okay? All right, let's see what we got here. 1, 2, or 3. Okay. Okay. Okay, so my people number 1, we've got the Moon card. And this is the secrets. It says secrets on it. And this is card number 21. And 2 plus 1 is a 3. And 3 is about creativity, new ideas, but it's also about fertility as well. Because we have the mention of the moon, this is a lot about cycles. This is also about understanding that we go through cycles ourselves, okay? So sometimes we're maybe in a winter when we want to hibernate, when we want to kind of go within, we want to take a little bit of a breath, we want to really maybe slow and think about the things that are important to us, marinate a little bit. Sometimes we're also in a spring where maybe we want to plant seeds, we want to create new ideas, we want to have our wishes and dreams. So it's really about understanding where you are in your cycle and not comparing yourselves to other people. The moon cycle, there's some really great apps out there that can really assist you with this as well. I've got an app, I think it's called Moon or Moon X. I was just going to check it for you. Actually, I can check it for you. And, there's a lot of different apps. Sorry, I can't check it. When I'm channeling, I can't think of other things. So, but there's a lot of different apps that can help to support you to figure out, well, how's the moon in your region? What are some different ways that you can leverage off of this particular moon in this particular cycle as well? Now, we also have the word on here, which is secrets. So this could mean there's something going on around you that's maybe a little bit of secretive. This could be that you're maybe a little bit secretive. Sometimes I get that when we have dreams, we have ideas, we have things that we want to achieve. It's important that we sometimes do keep these secrets to ourselves, right? As we plan, as we plot a little bit. I'm in a program. I have a subscription to a thing called Masterclass, and it's very cool. I'd highly recommend checking it out. And I list the Sarah Blakely Masterclass, and she is the founder of Spanx. And if you know anything about that, she's ridiculously successful. And one of the things she was talking about in her masterclass was the fact that she was keeping her idea a secret for an entire year while she worked on it. So what she ended up doing is she came up with her idea for Spanx. She said to herself, you know what, I'm going to work on this. I'm not going to ask anybody their opinion. I'm just going to work on it in private because it's so in alignment with me that I know I need to do it. And I know that if I ask anybody their opinion or their thoughts, that it could persuade me or dissuade me from continuing on, right? So after she worked on it for a long time, I feel like today's a lot about career. After she worked on it for a long time, a year, she'd already met with manufacturers and the like. She started sharing this idea and letting her friends and family know. And of course, some of them were concerned for her. They said, oh, there's some big players in the game. You're going to be bought out. It's never going to work, blah, blah, blah. And I love how she said in her masterclass, she was like, you know what? If I had heard those comments early on in the stage, I probably would not have continued. But because I was so gung-ho, I'd already put in all my work. I already knew what I wanted to do. I was really able to move forward in my own conviction. So I get that. Thank you. One of the things that Source is also telling me for you to think about is whether or not you're kind of keeping your own inner guidance from yourself, whether or not you're not listening to yourself, maybe sometimes. You know how sometimes we are in a job that's really in alignment with us, or we're not really living the life that we thought we would? Well, we can change that. We can put out CVs. We can start to look around and see if there's different opportunities that are going to be presenting themselves to us. It's about that intention. I get that. One of the things that they're suggesting that you could do is you could start to write down a bit of a dream list, a vision board, things of that nature, to really start to get clear on the things that are important to you. And then that will help you to make decisions that take you towards those goals or away from them. Okay, hopefully that was helpful for my people number one. My people number two now, this is the bushfire card. Oh, this is, well, I guess it's a little bit apropos at the moment in the world, but this is bushfire card here. And again, we have a number three, and number three is about that creativity. It's about that new ideas. It's also about fertility, could be about pregnancy as well. We've got the bushfire reference here, and it also says rebirth on this beautiful card. So one of the things that it's important to remember is that fire is actually very cleansing. And I do say that sensitively, but I just want to say that when we kind of can burn away the old, what happens is new growth can take its place. So I'd like you to think about whether or not there's anything that you can kind of get rid of in your own environment that's no longer serving you. Can you declutter maybe old things, old items, even old mindsets? One of the things that I always like to work with my clients on is helping them to figure out who it is that they want to be, and then taking the right steps to get there so they can align themselves with that action, right? So for example, if you want to be a super athlete, okay, then it's about making those changes to take you towards that goal. So eating healthily, getting outside, doing your exercise, scheduling in when you're going to exercise, maybe going with a PT, learning about nutrition, things like that. And it's about making those small minor adjustments to really take you along that journey. One of the things as well that is important is starting to think to yourself, am I showing up like the person that I want to be on a physical level? Are the clothes that I'm wearing representative of who I want to be and who I want to grow into? Are the things around me in my environment, the books I have, the artwork, are those things taking me towards the person that I want to be? Because when we are clear on who we want to be and where we want to go, that allows us to really start to align with that. And we can get rid of the things that no longer serve us. We can burn them away, we can give them away, and we can make room and make space for the next new thing. Okay. I get that. One of the things that they're also talking about that you could do if you are struggling at the moment, or you want to get some things off of your chest, because it's better out than in, you can always write those things down. You can burn those pages, of course, safely, be careful, and then burn them away. And then it's kind of like releasing them to God, almost, and saying like, hey, I'm just going to release this to spirit. I'm going to move forward now. I'm ready to let that go. Okay. Now, in the 3 card position, this is my people number 3. This is the campfire card, and this is storyteller. And this is card number 5. And 5 is all about change. 5 is also about foundation. I always see 5 as well about middle of the cycle, kind of middle of the journey. And we've got this beautiful storyteller card here, and it says campfire. So again, we have a little bit of a fire theme here. So this is really a lot about community. This is a lot about embracing the people around you, maybe the stories of your ancestry, maybe the stories of your culture. It's about looking around, and it's about seeing the connection that we have with the people around us, really finding that community, finding that the tribe, if that's what you resonate with, finding the people that are going to have your back, right? We started the whole hour today with sending love and sending some support and good vibes to people that have really assisted us and helped us along our journey. This card is a lot about that as well. It's a lot about communion. It's a lot about bringing and having the people around us that can support us to up level ourselves. And we can do that for other people as well. I love the fact that there's the storyteller mentioned here as well. Story is so important. Sharing our stories so other people can learn from our experiences. Holding on to the stories of our culture and our ancestry, if it serves us, of course. Learning the lessons from stories. But also what story can do is it can allow us to dream. It can allow us to tap into that imagination. It can allow us to imagine that things could be a little bit different. Sometimes we tell ourselves stories that really aren't supportive, and sometimes we tell ourselves stories that allow us to dream bigger, right? That allow us to say, you know what? I don't really know what is coming for me, but I know that I want to do these things, that I'm destined for this, and my inner purpose is this, and I want to make my intention known, and I want to turn it over to source to really assist me and help me get there. So, I get that. They're also talking about paying attention to the stories that we're telling ourselves. I was talking about that a little bit earlier when we're being really aware of the things that we tell ourselves on a regular basis, and being aware that we can correct those stories, that we can make those adjustments, okay? Because we don't want to be telling ourselves stories of limiting beliefs, of scarcity, of self-doubt, of hate, hate on ourselves, things like that. We want to be telling ourselves a new story, a new narrative that takes us towards the person that we want to be, because we deserve to live a life of joy, of grace, of compassion, of love, of support. And that's what you are here to do. You are here and you are divinely supported. Okay. So remember, calling your guides, calling your angels, ask for their support, and they will show up for you. It's about you paying attention and being present to notice. All right. Big reading. Okay. So again, if you are a powerful productivity, what am I trying to say here? If you are a professional, a spiritual professional, and you want help with time management, please do register for my free masterclass. I do talk to you at the end, of course, about my fabulous course called Powerful Productivity for the Spiritual Professional, which will completely change your life. But in the free masterclass, I teach you about overwhelm, how to avoid it. I teach you about setting boundaries. I teach you about how to say no. I teach you about how to quiet your mind as well, so you can be aware of the messages that your inner heart and your guides are guiding you with every day. And also, if you're looking to grow in confidence, if you're looking to help rewire your brain, to tell yourself a new story, to grow in confidence and support for yourself, then I would like to encourage you as well to sign up for my free masterclass, my free 7-day challenge, which is called Mastering Your Mindset. And that kicks off on September 1st. And you'll basically get 7 emails from me, one every day, which is really promoting a new affirmation to help support you in your journey here on earth. Because our whole point, I believe, to be here is to thrive, and we can do that together. So I want to thank you very much for being here. If you haven't already, if I haven't asked for too many things, I'd love for you to subscribe to the Afterlight podcast as well, where there are so many amazing resources and teachers and nuggets of wisdom to be found for you. And it's all for free wherever you get your podcasts. So thank you so much for being on the show today. And I will see you again next week. Bye-bye. I'm trying to play my out song, but I always forget where it is. Okay, see ya. This episode has been brought to you by me and my business, Lauren Grace Inspirations. I am a channel of the light and work with spirit guides, angels, the higher self, and passed over loved ones to provide you with support, clarity, and encouragement. Using oracle cards, mediumship, and clairvoyance, my readings will leave you feeling comforted and empowered. I have various reading options available, ranging from 30-minute readings to 60-minute readings to group sessions. I also work with professionals to help them gain clarity in business and life purpose. To book a reading with me, simply head to laurengraceinspirations.com.